Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ascended Star League Prime Division. This is series number 2 of today, and spawning in the bottom right. They know him as Chad. Mother inserts something epic here. Minigun Jones. It is Minigun. Keyblades.
And in the top left-hand corner of the map, nice stabbing. From Team Complexity, the
QXC.
blue Terran player, it is QXC.
Yeah, I realized, I think, when I said his name, I was like, it is something Minigun Jones, and then it was probably like Minigun. I was like, what? I should have just said Chad, insert something Jones, root zone, bam. Then it would have been perfect, Gibbles. But I'm not perfect, I'm a human being, man. I make mistakes, so. If only we could all be like the voice of God himself.
Times. Is that QXC's voice?
Talking about the good old Saber.
Saber. Ah, yeah, man.
Making the magic happen with the ASL, of course. Doing all of that production work as well as the observing. So big old shout out to Saber. Very fantastic Terran player himself too. Hey. But look at that. There was a little bit of a cheeky probe in the base of QXC that I don't believe is anymore. I don't know what happened to him. He got killed. I think he got shot in the face by a Marine.
Definitely must have died. Alright, so Reaper arrives, and Mothership Core says, get away.
And the Reaper complies. Gonna go ahead and charge up them combat drugs. The best in the industry here. Best on the market. He's gonna come right back in, though. And gonna scout that robotics facility. So we got a PVT here, right? And oh my god, he actually might get caught!
Reaper manages to escape. A nice play there from QXC, managing to get a full scout with that Reaper. And now he's just like, all right, you're not rushing for any super fast Stargate, which you could have by now, by the way.
Yeah.
At 540, 550, you see really fast 2-base Stargates go down, but nothing from Minigun.
Nope. And we've talked about this map being very good for Blink as well, and QXC making sure that that's not the case, unless it was being proxied, of course. But he scouted in, saw the robotics, and he can kind of rest easy with kind of knowing what his opponent is up to. You know, there's the gas. He sees the gas timing. He sees everything pretty much, and is just hoping that there isn't some kind of proxy Stargate on the map. But I don't think that would be the case with that with that Robo there.
But we do have a Warp Prism on the way right now from Minigun. And that, combined with the fact that Minigun hasn't yet taken a second gas, yeah, a couple more gateways are going down. We'll see if he opts to go for a third Nexus behind this. It's entirely possible that he could say, you know, I'm going to distract you into oblivion while I force a fast expand. But no, okay, there's the tech we've been waiting for. With 350 gas and 150 on the ground, so he was at 500 gas before he dropped that. But doesn't matter, QXC going to manage to scout this Robo.
He does, and it's good. He's going to get a few of the probe kills. Just one. Nothing too crazy, so he gets a good scout, but it's more so what he knew. But he did see the Warp Prism leaving the base, and that's pretty important, so he's definitely going to prepare for that. And adding 4 more barracks, yeah, he is not going to be dropping like a really early third command center here to try to kind of out-macro here. He might be going for some kind of big push, or just, you know, getting the infrastructure down in order to deal with whatever it is that Minigun is going to be sending at him.
Yeah, these are really late gases from Minigun. I wonder if he doesn't like the thirds on this base, and so he's going to opt to open with some early harass, as the Reaper does manage to pick off a couple of probes here. Really nice attention to detail from QXC, but, you know, Tempo, I'm thinking, what if this gas, you know, this gas hold that Minigun sat on, what if he just chronos out a couple Colossi, throws down a lot of gateways because of how many minerals he has, and decides to go for a push?
He actually could, you know, he isn't up to that probe number where he's going to stop. Oh my god. Okay. QXC using that exposed mineral line to his advantage. Getting that high ground vision with the medevac. The Hellions are going to get taken out here. Oh, for free pretty much, but...
Yeah, he actually
big
could've
drop
gone to the
going.
main.
Oh no, I thought it was a drop. It was the Reaper just going.
Yeah, the Reaper tried to get in. So, QXC tried to force a distraction in the natural while running in with his Reaper to get the scout. But because the Stalkers were pre-split to deal with that two-pronged scout, Minigun already had some... Well, actually, I think he warped them in time, but... yeah, his Hellions actually could have gotten the run by, but he gave up on him. Warp Prism is up and spotted in the top left-hand corner. QXC is going to thwart that.
Indeed. And, well, while QXC is kind of being quite aggressive, he hasn't really done too much damage here. And he lost a lot of his Hellions there as well. So, he is going to opt to go ahead and drop that third command center. But Minigun is finally saturated on both of his bases. And he's continuing to make probes, so he's definitely looking to take a base in the future. But I'm wondering if we're going to see that push like you were saying, you know, like get 2 Colossi. He doesn't have a proxy pylon on the map just yet, but maybe that Warp Prism was going to be his proxy pylon. But it didn't get taken out, so he still has that option.
Well, we'll have to look at the gateways go down here in a second, which I kind of don't think they will.
Yeah.
It looks like he's going to start up Blink or Charge here in a second, probably Blink, because this map is so capable with drops. And yeah, Templar Archives, he's going to start +2.
Yep. He's playing a standard Protoss as standard could be, you know. Very defensive. The style of Protoss where you just defend, get a really, really sick army with great upgrades that are far ahead of your opponent, and then push with the power of them laser beams,
Power
man.
of Protoss.
But QXC knows how to play TVP quite well, already getting his third base. And Minigun hasn't even dropped the third base yet either, but is still continuing to make probes, so I'm wondering where he decides to take it. It looks like he wants to take it on the right side.
Yeah, but QXC wants to deny that if he can pick off this probe, but no, he didn't actually have his Marine selected.
Oh! Loses all the units there. Well, QXC's macro is pretty impeccable. He's up 121 supply to the 95 of Minigun. And Minigun's army is quite fragile, but it is still powerful. It's kind of a glass cannon kind of army with 2 Colossi. No real zealots to kind of help out the army and have the other bio units be kiting it, but he's playing super defensive and he's taking his third now, and QXC not getting to be able to do much damage is I'm a little bit worried. I think he's in a very nice position as far as his macro goes. He's actually incredibly far ahead in his macro. He's almost up to 70 SCVs, man, and he has triple orbital command, so he may not give a damn about the whole yeah, you sit back and defend thing. He's just going to amass a ridiculous army while having a really nice economy behind it and keeping up with his upgrades, hopefully, and hitting some sick EMPs if he's able to.
Yeah, a lot of it could end up coming down to EMPs as we see only 2 Colossi on the field, and it looks like it's going to be nothing but Immortals and High Templar in terms of high-tech units to continue joining the battlefield for Minigun.
Yeah. Well,
Minigun, his third also, by the way, is not even yet complete, whereas QXC's is saturated and then some.
For real, he actually has been mining from there for quite a bit, and he has that economic lead. Like, when do you see a Protoss that has less workers than a Terran player? Like, I mean, I don't know where the Chrono Boost is going here for Minigun, but he's still postured to, you know, get that kind of really powerful army. But QXC is going to be maxing out so soon.
He will be, and Zealots and a High Templar get caught in the top corner of the map. Warp Prism manages to save a Templar, and then it's going to be heading home just because it's so risky. With all these Vikings out on the field, QXC's going for a push 200 supply to just
15-minute mark. Yeah. That is the power of macro right there. And he's going in. He has quite a few Vikings here. They don't have that +1 upgrade yet, though. EMPs are going to miss. Nice storm, but it's a little bit behind those Vikings. QXC, gets a good EMP there, I believe, on those Colossi. He has so much bio here.
Storm doing some really nice damage there. Force fields are going to go down for Minigun.
Sick EMP on that Templar. He is just going to push down the throat of Minigun here, and he is maxed out.
Minigun missing that Storm as QXC predicts it perfectly. Second one kills off 2 Marauders, and that's about it. How is Minigun going to hold off a 100 supply advantage from his Terran opponent?
Yeah, he's holding on a little bit here. He is down by that much, but his bio is incredibly low in HP, And QXC is not doing any multi-prong at the moment. He's just amassing a huge force, but it's very, very low. But he's going to be meeting up, man, and it's going to be a very scary moment here for Minigun. If he isn't able to hold this next push.
Yeah, I'm impressed that he was actually able to hold that first one. Like, with the QXC doing such a great job predicting the storms, but you know, a second one is just seconds away as QXC is already maxed out. Once again, he's got 2 ghosts here with enough energy for EMPs, and we're going to see him move in just a second. Probably going to be able to close it out. Minigun's going to have a really hard time mounting a defense against this attack.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is a good position to push, though. There's 2 ramps here, so those are pretty easily force fieldable. There's not a very open area that QXC can actually push up. But how many sentries? He only has 1. Oh, 2. Minigun has 2 sentries here. Is he going to go ahead? Some nice storms on the right side. And these Templar are feeling bold. All the units are clumped up, so they have to be incredibly careful of that EMP.
Yeah, and this is really nice from Minigun because there's not a lot of medevac energy. Only a somewhat medium amount. None of these medevacs over half and a lot below a quarter. So if he can keep hitting a couple good storms to drain the energy on these medevacs, when the time comes, it's going to be effectively, QXC with no medevacs in this fight.
Yeah. He's going to push in. He's a little bit nervous, though. He doesn't want to get caught in the storm. And there comes a nice storm by Minigun.
A great storm, but I think he wants to keep biding his time here. As we were talking about, the medevacs are really low. He's going to make an arc out on the field. QXC can pick that off, but it looks like he's going to play it safe. He's pretty afraid now that his army's pretty low.
Oh my god, QXC not paying attention is going to get sliced and diced by these zealots of Minigun, but here comes some good EMPs, but QXC is dropping in supply so much right now, and he's lost so many of his Vikings. However, the Colossi have fallen.
Minigun with a sick force-fielded Colossus there. QXC actually target-fired the hallucinated Colossus down, and by the time it died, this fight was already halfway over. A beautiful engagement from Minigun. Wow, I just got a frog.
That's cool, man.
He doesn't quite have the capability to remax, however, as fast as QXC.
He doesn't, but he's doing it well, and he's going to go ahead and take a 4th, feeling incredibly confident. QXC did not want to take that fight, as his 2-2 was incredibly close to finishing. It is just now finished, and we should see that 3-3 soon. But his 4th is just now going to be starting to get mined from. But here comes the DTs of Minigun. DTs of Minigun. Is there any detection at the bases of QXC? I don't see anybody.
He's got
no
one
turrets.
turret. Yeah, 1 turret at the top of the natural expansion, but not inside the bases, as you critically mentioned. Dark Templar are going to begin to split up. They are spotted at the turret, but I don't think QXC is looking up here, and he doesn't. He does bring a couple of forces back and should be able to scan to deal with these pretty handily.
Okay, really, really nice move by QXC. That was a little bit scary for a moment, but the army of QXC is going to be gathering on the right side. The army of Minigun is looking so scary. It has 2-2, 3-3 on the way as well, while only +3 has just begun for Minigun. Only the attack upgrade, though.
Oh, the Nexus. It looks like it could be sniped here. It goes down. The storms fall on the army. The Bio trying to split. The Medevac's taking a lot of damage. He's going to try to pick up and run, and doesn't quite manage to. Oh, 2 Medevacs go down, and that's definitely going to be a cue for Minigun to go for the push.
He's going for the kill right now. He has such a strong army, and I'm a little bit nervous for QXC. What is he going to do here? There are no more Colossi, so luckily for him, he doesn't have to deal with that because he doesn't have any Vikings either, but he does have a lot of Ghost.
He does. A Ghost hits all the Stalkers, but he's going to want to save those EMPs. He only has what looks... he still does have 4 remaining, actually, so he can use these pretty liberally. Nice EMP on the Colossi, and he'll stack them up when it comes to that choke point, so Minigun is quick to fall back.
Indeed, and actually there are 3 Colossi on the map. They just haven't regrouped with the army yet, but this is a nice position to force Minigun down, as they do funnel in. These all get EMP'd, but now this is kind of an awkward situation where Minigun is right at the natural of QXC.
Yeah,
and
still 4 storms, maybe only 3 remaining right now for Minigun, though. So QXC, he's got a couple of EMPs loaded. He can go in for this. He's got 3 EMPs locked and set. Dark Templar will be caught out of the scan, though, so he may have to... Oh, one of the Ghosts being targeted.
Sandwich! And a 6 storm by Minigun.
Oh,
some
my
good EMPs,
God.
but is it going to be enough?
It absolutely could with storms like that. He's going to manage to get an EMP, though, on 2 of those Templars, so only 1 with any storms remaining.
Indeed, and he's going to go up. Minigun going up the ramp once more. QXC trying to do that sandwich again, but he has a Bioforce that is so low in HP that 1 storm will just spell the end for any of these groups of units.
It will, and I think Minigun might see this So he's gonna kill the
Denied.
rocks. Oh, he traps the forces in the back, and now he's gonna push into the main with no fear of being flanked. A beautiful maneuver from Minigun. He's leaving the Templar as a trap.
Yeah, and as soon as they run through that rock passageway, they will get stormed to oblivion. And this is such a scary position for QXC, but he does have the supply lead. Nice storms going here from Minigun. This is looking really, really weird. I've never seen anything quite like this, and it's a nail-biting situation for both players.
It really is. In the meantime, I would have loved to see... Oh, there's a planetary up here in the top right-hand corner for QXC, keeping that base nice, safe, and secure. So Minigun, he does have an income lead right now. He wants to play it slow.
Yep, but he's going to get stormed again, but here come the units. The QXC are getting stuck on the ramp. He's not moving down with all of them yet.
He's trying. 2 Archons about to complete. They do, and that's going to be enough for Minigun to push up this force with the Colossus still in the field. It falls, but 2 Archons do still remain. Minigun's going to push the issue, and he does still have a better economy than QXC.
He does, and both players are mining from 4... Well, actually, QXC is only mining from 3 bases. No, 4 bases, but... Oh, GG will be called from QXC.
Yeah, he doesn't feel like he can take it. He's going to take one last engagement, but the medevacs are out of energy, and when the Archons start to hit the bio, it simply melts away.
Kind of an awkward GG here.
Yeah, I think QXC looking at this like maybe he can take down the last few units, but realizes that he can't, and he taps out.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the ASL Prime League, and we are in game number 2 between these 2 fine players, North American at that. Tempo joined by Kibbles.
Hurrah!
And I'm a little bit surprised. QXC breaking the molds, and I'm liking it because he has picked Orion as his map for now. And, well, before we go ahead and do that, I guess I might as well introduce these 2 players. Of course, spawning in the bottom section of this map, representing Root for Root, Chad Mother Effin' Jones.
Chicka chicka. Slim Daddy.
Minigun. In the bottom, representing Root for Root, Chad Mother Effin' Jones.
And his opponent in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. Or, I guess this would be more the top left-hand corner. The left. The 9 o'clock position. Dead west. Give it up for the best. In.
QXC.
So here we are. What kind of world is this? Where zealots chase SCVs.
Patreon.com/ASL.
They're terrible bullies, man. It's
Look at
SCV.
it. What is it?
Can't help it.
No,
It's a little guy.
he's looking like a damn pool. That zealot is just chilling. There's a zealot on the bottom right of the ramp, but he's not important as the mothership core does come over here. Gonna get warded away, but he does get a good scout, seeing that really early factory in Starport. And you know what that means? In most cases, it's either a Hellion or a Widowmine drop, but Widowmine drop is more common. Especially if there is no reactor on the factory.
This mothership core gonna barely skirt out of the damage range of that Widowmine. Comes in, takes a couple shots, and it doesn't see the Widowmine. Oh my god, it's dead. I think it's dead.
Oh my god.
6.
Oh my god.
1
HP.
marine shot. 1 marine shot. Okay, it has armor plating 1. I'm wrong. It's 2 marine shots.
Oh well. QXC probably
Crazy.
just a little bit salty about that one. The mothership core does get away, and its shield is pretty weak, so at least he got quite a bit of the health of it. So it will be going down very shortly if it is able to meet another Widowmine again. We'll see if he's a little bit more careful next time, though. But QXC going to be dropping right now. It's not just a Widowmine drop, but it does have some Marines as well. Does he have a Hellion too? Nope. 4 Marines and 2 Widowmines are going to be dropping here. There's no more minigun just yet.
Yeah, you know, he realizes that he did so much damage to that mothership core early on. Maybe he can finish it off. Does manage to save both the Widowmines, the medevac. Just going to take its time getting away. He does have boost, and he's going to opt to use it to go into the natural expansion.
Yep. No probes there, though, but here comes a Hellion. And I believe this is mainly to scout, perhaps, as it is just running in.
and he gets an entire scout of the main base and sees, all right, you have no hidden structures that I have to worry about. I can play. He knows exactly what his opponent has.
Yeah, and he can even get a little bit of a probe kill there too. Oh man, if he targets...
Yeah, he'll get the Widow Mines, but meanwhile, a drop back into the natural. It looks like he's going to stop here in the corner and opt to run away as he drops a couple more barracks back at home.
Yep, so pretty standard here. Gonna go get his expansion as well. QXC will, adding those barracks as you did say, and he already has a starport to make a medevacs if he does choose to, but he's really low on gas, of course. But he would want to try to maybe get a few Marauders out as well, because he does assume that Minigun is going to be going for that robotics bay. Started going to Colossus, and yep, Minigun does drop the robotics bay. And yeah, it looks like we're going to go into a pretty standard game so far. Not too much damage done by QXC there, you know.
QXC really feeling like his opponent wants to go into a macro game, and so we see QXC actually opting for a super fast third base, which is, well, we'll have to see how it's going to work out for him as a robotics base on the way. Minigun certainly could go for two-base pressure, but remember, this is similar to what he did in his previous game.
With the Warp Prism as well. And the Forge, so...
Yep, there's the Forge. Exactly what I was waiting to see.
So, a little bit of a deviation, but that's only because QXC's opener was a little bit aggressive, as due to his character, you know. QXC does love playing quite aggressively, and I do love watching him play, so... Minigun is just so good at defending, though, you know. Like, the whole game, I feel like QXC was just trying to drop, and then eventually it just got shut down so much that he just stopped trying.
Well, I would really like to see different play here from Minigun. Last game, he realizes how much stuff QXC had, and Minigun had to play his damnedest to not fall apart to his opponent having such an advantage. So I really want to see Minigun either counter with a lot of greed or a lot of aggression. He needs to match QXC or he needs to punish QXC.
Yeah, and the fact that he is here with this Observer and doesn't see additional buildings, I mean, does this look like pretty much like a two-base Terran to you? Just like, hey, I'm just chilling, you know?
Well, the missing
didn't see any more, you know, the missing two other racks or so, maybe, as that Observer does see.
Yeah, the
maybe
two racks,
thinking in his head.
Or the engineering bay would have been a really good thing to scout, but now it's complete, and so Minigun flies by that, and he probably thinks those upgrades are close to like 3/4 right now. But ultimately, it's it's just getting started. So until he sees that third base, I don't know that he's going to know what's going on, but I think he's about to get a glimpse, Tempo.
I think he will. He has to go ahead and check it out. I don't know where he's going, but there was a little bit of a drop at the natural of Minigun, doing a little bit of damage, getting 2 probes, I believe. But, oh my god, he's just getting out of there. Yeah.
Yeah, because of that drop in the natural, I think, even though it didn't do damage, it did prevent scouting. I think Minigun probably would have just ran that Warp Prism, to a nice, safe location over at the third. Instead, he gets really, really far back with it, I think because he was just worrying about paying attention to that drop.
Yep. And Minigun must be thinking something in his head, as he does see not too many units here from QXC. His Observer has been keeping a tab on the army pretty much this whole time, and he has to think in his head that something's going on. You know, when you don't see any other buildings being added, and then maybe if he does see just a big influx of buildings, then he would be able to check it out. But no, that Warp Prism comes in, still does not see the third of QXC.
Yeah.
These Zealots are going to do a bit of work, but I mean, it's really nothing to QXC at the moment.
Yeah, like, Minigun has no idea that this third is where it is and has been there as long as it has been. If he had, he absolutely would have gone for a third base before taking this Templar Archives and +2. He probably would have taken a third a while back, actually, a good, minute to 3 minutes ago, somewhere in that range. May have opted to continue with the quick +1 upgrades, and we saw, but I think he would have skipped the Twilight and gone for a Fast Nexus, because that was just so quick. So now Minigun is once again going to be insanely behind as we move into the later stages of this game, and QXC this time is really going to be trying to make something happen with that early game advantage.
Yeah, I like it a lot, the fact that he is going for that style. And he's a little bit behind in economy, like not behind in economy, but like compared to last game, right? He was so far ahead in SCVs. He was maxing out by the 15-minute mark and going in, but of course his opener this time wasn't as economical. Didn't do as much damage, but he's still starting to skyrocket in that supply. That third base really starting to pay dividends, and yeah, I'm really liking it. His upgrades are a little bit Is he going for a double engineering bay yet, or?
I feel like QXC's opening was about as greedy as last time, except with the Widow Mine drop opening.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, he's played the fast third, and now there's that engineering bay you were talking about, and the armory going down right after you say it. So, I mean, QXC, I think, it's not going to be quite 15 minutes, but we're going to have a 16 and a half minute max out from QXC, and Minigun's going to be about 50, so fly behind.
Yeah, and his Ghost Academy is on the way as well, realizing that this Templar could be a threat. And Minigun, no, he's going to need to try to hold on to this third. I think he should be able to. That's a lot of open area here. This is a little bit different than Ion, where the chokes were kind of everywhere. QXC has a little bit more room now to spread his army.
Storm does complete.
Yeah.
Oh my god, these Vikings!
Wow, going to work on the Colossus.
The Vikings take a ridiculous amount of damage in that fight, but no second storm on the Vikings, and I think that would have made a really big difference if a second storm had gone down on those Vikings. Instead, Minigun does clean up the force, but not quite as well as I was anticipating. He loses all his Templar, all his Colossi, and only manages to walk out with a few Gateway units, an Immortal, and an Archon.
Yeah, that's about it. And I think QXC can be pretty happy with that. He did want to get the third, though. It's a little bit scary, of course, now that Minigun is going to be able to mine from 3 base. But
what I don't like here from QXC walking around the fight is that he's not researching his plus armor, and he doesn't have a 4th base on the way. Like, I agree. I think he would have come out of that fight really happy, but even though he lost his whole force, I think he would have been happy if he had had a big macro play behind it, but he doesn't. He's still on 2 bases.
Yeah. But he's feeling happy that he's been on that 3rd base for quite a bit of time. But, man, once his 3rd base kicks in for Minigun, and he starts mining from that 5th and 6th gas, it's a little bit difficult. You're able to afford so many more Templars, so many more Colossi if he even wanted to. Could drop another Robo, depending on how QXC's army starts to shape up. Oof. He erased he reset the whole Viking count, so he can go into Colossi if he wanted to again.
He did, and on the right-hand side of the map, QXC loads up his entire army into Medivacs and heads over for a sneak attack on the 3rd, while he's likely going to pressure the natural expansion. However, Minigun saw the Medivacs go over with his Observer, so he is privy to this attack. He knows that something quirky is about to happen, and he's put an army in a position that he feels is going to allow him to respond most effectively.
I'm loving the Observer of Minigun here. Just watching there. It's so funny that the Vikings keep patrolling by it. But this is what I wanted to see from QXC a bit in the first game. More of that multi-pronged aggression, because he kept trying to just win the game with a solid, macro and just steamrolling his opponent, but wasn't able to do so. So I'm really liking it if he does decide to go for this. Still kind of perched over at that right side of the map. Man.
He is. He knows that there's a good chance that Minigun, I feel like he believes Minigun may push out, because QXC seems to feel like he lost that fight because his whole force was, of course, eliminated, but he did a lot of damage. And so although he's setting up for this, counterattack, basically, it never comes. The attack from Minigun never comes, and so QXC never gets to go in. This force is a little scouted, by the way, so it does retreat up to the top right.
Yeah. But where is QXC's 4th, like you were saying a little bit earlier? He's just not going to drop it, but Minigun's 4th is already on the way, and he's securing it with relative ease. Not really any pressure being put on him right now, so what is he going to do? QXC, he has 11 Ghosts, up to 8 Vikings again, but, I mean, there's only 2 Colossi, so he's actually pretty well equipped to deal with it.
I'm a little scared for QXC right now. He has displayed extreme economic and strategic prowess, but when it's come to the actual engagements, that seems to be where QXC has been suffering a little bit. He didn't dodge those storms, for instance, against his Vikings.
Yeah.
So now QXC is going to be sitting against an even Protoss. Most of the time, he's fighting Minigun. He has a huge advantage in terms of army. But with this next fight, they're going to be pretty dead even. And I don't know if QXC is going to be able to match the firepower of Minigun when you consider the last few fights.
It's really going to come down to EMPs. It's so important. Does he have the cloak? I know there are quite a bit of observers here for Minigun, but if he's able, and cannons as well. So cloak on the Ghost won't be as effective as it usually would.
Oh,
but I like that that QXC is setting up the possibilities of being able to attack from all sides if he does choose to do so.
Nice storm baiting from QXC in the top left. Meanwhile, Force is going to come in the bottom.
Finally.
Right. how he stutter steps his way towards the mineral line. Storm will go down, but that's the only one, and it's not going to be enough. I fear the Nexus may fall. In fact, Minigun looking like he's just going to let it go, since a couple DTs and Templar down to repel this force, but they're simply going to load up into Medivacs and take off as an attack happens in the top left.
Yep. Big attack going down, but a big feedback on those Medivacs, so those bio units are going to get killed eventually, as there is no detection. But that was really nice Nexus snipe there, and I know QXC has been waiting for it, but he needs to watch out, because there comes Minigun pushing down. QXC feeling it, though. He does have his Ghost in position. I would love to see him get Cloak here for when Minigun leaves the comfort of his base.
No, he really should have Cloak at this point. It's a super important upgrade. He's got 4 more Ghosts on the way, and he already has 12. One, that's a few too many Ghosts. And second, if you're going to make 16 Ghosts, if you're going to do that strategy, I don't see why you wouldn't get Cloak.
And Nukes!
Nuke's not a bad call either. I mean, he's got an obnoxious number of Ghosts, and he's really going to have to do work with them. And
it's a haunted house up in here, man. Hot damn. But here comes Minigun.
This is exactly what QXC needs to do. Beautiful EMP on the main.
Oh my god, he's going to get it, though. And the Planetary Fortress here is going to help. Nice storms, but they're not going to hit too much, as Marauders are pretty bulky units. And Minigun is trying to make something happen here, as he did in the last game, but I think QXC is in a much better position here with the Planetary there.
QXC taking half his Medivacs and going for a drop, leaving almost nothing but Ghosts. 17 Ghosts!
Oh my god!
Only 7 Marines. He's got more Ghosts than he has Marines.
Wow, how does that even happen? Yeah. I don't even know what to say about that. That is...
What? He's got 1 more Ghost than Marines and Marauders. I am astonished. But this drop in the top right could prove to be very effective.
Yep. And he sees the DTs there, knows exactly what he's in for. And there's 2 High Templar there as well, so 1 Storm could spell the end for this, but he's going to definitely micro his heart away, and he does not want to lose his Bioforce to nothing, so... Just that energy, right? So...
And the cool thing here, from QXC's perspective, is he can literally never take a fight with this army, just kite it in small groups all day, and that's going to force a Minigun to actually take action up here in the top left, because in the long run, Minigun wins in the long right in terms of cost efficiency, and EMP goes down to start the fight.
Yep, and he's, is he pulling SCVs here? Because he just, oh, really nice storm on all of the bio there, but the army of Minigun is so clumped, but those observers are going to be able to spot exactly.
QXC needs to keep grabbing small groups of Ghosts and sending them forward to throw down EMPs. Even if they don't hit, he has so many Ghosts. He needs to make sure not a single unit in this army has any shields when the actual fight does arrive. And right now, still more than half of them do. None of them should. EMPs should trade energy for shields.
Yeah, and he's going in. I mean, he's just kind of chilling. He's letting Minigun bring the fight to him. Not going to leave the comfort of that Planetary Fortress, and that is very smart to do so. But that's not even in QXC's full army. He does have this other force here that hasn't been very active, as it does go into that 4th base of Minigun. But there is a Templar there, and he's going to be able to storm. 1 more storm should be able to take out the rest of these Bioforce. And do not lose those Medivacs, QXC. They are so important.
Those storms were phenomenal, and that's going to allow Minigun to feel a little bit of... Those storms, yeah, those storms were amazing, man.
There's a nuke. There's a nuke.
Wait,
so
what?
I tell you guys... Ladies and gentlemen, people of the jury, there is a nuke. It hasn't been deployed yet, but it is ready to go. And at any point in this game, this nuke may be able to get dropped. And I would love myself, I would love life if I was able to see it, but there's still this big engagement that is happening. Still no Cloak, though. It's very, very... I would love to see Cloak.
I'm a little afraid right now of this counter-harass. Like, Minigun has been on the defensive all game. Suddenly he feels comfortable enough to attack, and that's going to put the ball in QXC's court.
Yeah. Sick EMPs there. Finally going to get the Mothership Core as well. But oh my goodness, the Colossus count is so high. How many of these Vikings are there? There's only 13 here to the 7 Colossi here. And that is not the amount of Vikings you want. Unless you get the money EMPs and a huge Marauder count.
I'd love to even see a few Tempests at this point from Minigun. Maybe just 1 or 2. In order to, with the defensive style that QXC is playing, we've seen plenty of Protosses use it in the past. For instance, SOS to great effect. I believe it was versus Polt on Neoplanet S. So, I mean, this is a great time for maybe to bust it out, but Minigun smells an opening.
Yeah, and QXC is going to boost off with a few medevacs as well. It feels like he can hold this with this army. The Vikings are going to need to get into the action here. Some good feedbacks on those ghosts. And man, these games have been absolute action-packed between these two players, and they're just going at each other right now.
Yeah,
One good
QXC.
EMP in those Vikings would be great.
He's just holding the defensive line really well with this planetary here, but he's not being incredibly cost efficient. Well, actually, with that last wave, he's actually managed to kill a lot of Minigun's units up in the top right, and he's going to go for a counter in the bottom right-hand corner, kill off this 5th base.
Yep, and he's not going to allow Minigun to establish that at all, but the Colossus count keeps on growing, while the Viking count is not. The Viking count is still at 13. So this Colossus count is going to become even more hard to deal with. 9 Colossi to 13 Vikings. It is going to be up to these Marauders and the Ghost so much. And this Strike Force of QXC in order to do some more damage and divert the attention of Minigun. I mean, oh, this is really tense.
So something that's really interesting about this map is right now, QXC is really hard for Minigun to deal with. He's going to come in with this attack force of Stalkers and Templar. And Storms go down because, of course, no feedback on the medevacs. And he's going to clean up this force. Nice job, Minigun.
Completely annihilated there. As the upgrades, even the shield upgrades being researched by Minigun. Well, Minigun is up to 3-3-2. That's 3 armor, 3 attack, and of course the 2 shield.
Now,
But,
this is
man.
where things get interesting because QXC has this command center in the top right-hand corner.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really strategic of Minigun, actually, to change his position of attack from this bottom left-hand corner, where he's kind of pushing into this choke, into going into this platform up in the top right. If he were staging his attack from this top corner of the map, he could actually attack downwards into this base that, he's sieging right now, but he could siege it from the top instead of the bottom.
Yeah.
They could also pressure the top right, where the Dark Templar are going to manage to snipe a planetary. Really nice attack here.
Wow.
Minigun.
Yep, and QXC, I mean, he's starting to look like he's getting broken a bit. I mean, his supply is at 178, but his army supply does remain at 148. He's just lost so many SCVs, and I think the fact is, well, what's happening right now is that he doesn't care as much about his SCVs, because look at how many orbitals he has. He has the mule train going on, and he's just going to try to get the biggest army possible.
Yeah, and that's where the harass from QXC will actually become unbearable for Minigun. Like, if this game continues to turtle and QXC starts throwing away most of his SCVs, he's going to have a massive harassing force. The Minigun's just not going to be able to contest, so Minigun has to make a move happen.
Yeah, and he's been trying to, right? Like, he's really trying to do it. This is a really hard position, of course, to for both players to commit to.
You know what I'd love to see is the Colossi go into the main, like dance on this
Just
cliff
run in.
block. Yeah, and start killing production facilities. Like, force QXC to come away from the planetary and out into his own choke.
He could. Minigun does have that. Oh, really nice storm. Yeah, Minigun does have the capabilities, especially with these DTs. Maybe even a warp prism just going around. But I love the fact that he did snipe that base at the top side. He took out that planetary. And while QXC has the mules for days, he doesn't have an actual base that is established that he can mine from efficiently, except for this one here that is being sieged constantly by Minigun.
Yeah, and Minigun, well, they're actually both, like, I like this battle over on the right-hand side. Like, it's constantly waging, and it's actually, this is one of my favorite factors about this map.
Yeah.
But I wonder it looks like Minigun catching QXC's force out of position. He's going to throw down Storms, continue to zone it. Maybe he can catch it between the mineral lines.
Oh, man, and he's going for it. I mean, he's losing so much, but both players losing so much. Vikings going to go and get some pot shots on those Colossi, but is it time? Is it time for Minigun to go right in? Has he had enough? I feel like he has. The bio of QXC is clumped in the corner, and they're not going to be able to get a good position here.
Nice positioning on the Stalkers, but I don't know if there's enough. No, he does. He kills all the Vikings, and that's it.
GG.